Okay, so in the next two examples, I'm going to do is our application type problems. I'm going to show you how to reason through these problems. So I'm going to read this first problem to you and we'll work it out together. Okay? So it says the seventh inning buys baseball cards. Okay? The seventh inning buys baseball cards, is this the name of the company apparently, the seventh inning, buys baseball cards from 8 different vendors. In November, the company purchased 8,832 boxes of cards. If an equal number of boxes was purchased from each vendor, how many boxes of cards were supplied to each vendor, or supplied by each vendor? So the unknown fact here is the known boxes of cards supplied by each vendor. That's what we're trying to figure out, right? So what we're trying to find out is the number of boxes of baseball cards, supplied by each vendor. That's what we're trying to find out. Now, what are the known facts? Well, the known facts is that we got 8,832 boxes. That's what the company bought. 8,832 boxes. Okay, now that's all the boxes, right, from all the vendors. So that's a total. And again, how many vendors were there? That was from 8 vendors. Okay. Now, what about the relationships? Well, this is where we have to understand what's going on here. We want the number of boxes supplied by each vendor. What do we know? We know that each vendor supplied the same amount of boxes, right? And that's another thing that we know. So we know that each vendor supplied an equal amount or an equal number of boxes. Okay? And so now the relationship, what's the relationship? Well, what kind of problem, what kind of operation are we going to have to do here? That's the relationship. If we're trying to find, if we have 8,832 boxes from 8 vendors, and we know that each vendor supplied the company with an equal number of boxes of baseball cards, and we want to find out how much each vendor supplied, we want that number, what kind of operation are we going to do here? Adding, subtracting, multiplication, division, what is it? Well, in this case, we're trying to break up this number into 8 equal pieces. That's division. So the relationship is, we know that X number of boxes supplied by is going to be equal to the total number of boxes divided by the number of vendors. So there's our equation, if you will. There's our formula. And now, let's do an estimation. What if we had 8,000 boxes? Well, we know that 8,000 divided by 8 is 1,000, and so this is a little bit bigger, so it would make sense that it's going to be more than 1,000 for each vendor. So that's a reasonable solution. So again, so now I know what my number should be pretty close to, a little over 1,000. So now let's do the calculation. Okay, so now we're going to do the actual division. And if we do the division, we get 1104. Right? So this is going to be 8, right? Minus 0, drop the 8. 8 times 1 is 8. 0, drop the 3, goes in 0 times, and then we get 0. Then we get 3 again, drop again, we get 2, and we get 4. And then we get 0. Okay, so you could do it the long division, or you could do it in your head, either way. But it turns out to be 1,104 boxes for each one. And that is the answer. So what does it mean? Each vendor, so again, interpretation. Each vendor supplied 1,104 boxes was supplied by each vendor. That's the answer. Okay, we'll do another one.